is sad to see that in the United States today, a college graduate who earned a journalism degree from a school as well known as San Diego State University, that has now become a popular CBS investigative reporter, can try to get away with aiding and abetting these religious Christian cult members in their malicious and hateful attacks on SIST and SIST's reputation, personnel, and property. It seems that the only classes that this investigative fraud paid attention in were the history classes involving the Nazi cult and its leaders. He undoubtedly paid attention to Hitler's and Goebbels' famous sayings. During World War II, Joseph Goebbels said, quote, "If you tell a lie big enough and keep repeating it, people will eventually come to believe it. The lie can be maintained only for such time as the state can shield the people from the political, economic, and/or military consequences of the lie. It thus becomes vitally important for the state to use all of its powers to repress dissent, for the truth is the mortal enemy of the lie, and thus by extension, the truth is the greatest enemy of the state." Goebbels also said that, quote, "The most brilliant propagandist technique will yield no success unless one fundamental principle is borne in mind constantly. It must confine itself to a few points and repeat them over and over. Think of the press as a great keyboard on which the government can play." Then Hitler always said to, quote, "Make the lie big, make it simple, keep saying it, and eventually they will believe it." Hitler also said, quote, "All propaganda has to be popular and has to accommodate itself to the comprehension of the least intelligent of those whom it seeks to reach." Right now, the sadistic Christian cult leader Lorna Marquardt and the other leaders of her extremist religious sect are no doubt losing sleep. Their minds are in constant turmoil about how they can get out of this quagmire. They know what will happen to them once the rest of the United States citizens find out what they are doing. They will never see the light of day from the outside of a prison cell again. They constantly have to come up with more and more lies and other deceitful tactics, and even occasionally brute force to hide the truth of this scandalous alleged list of implied threats. The Shawano Police Department is right now, as I am saying this, attempting to find me. Could it be that they want to make me shut up about their atrocious actions? Could it be that they want to take away my constitutionally granted freedom to speak freely without censorship or limitation? Could it be that they want to take away my right to freedom of speech that is even recognized as a basic universal human right under Article 19 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and in international human rights in the International Covenant of Civil and Political Rights? The ICCPR recognizes the right to freedom of speech as, quote, "The right to hold opinions without interference. Everyone shall have the right to freedom of expression." Could they be attempting to take away from me something as valuable as my freedom of speech as it is recognized in European, inter-American, and African regional human rights law? Do we still live in the United States? Supposedly the land of the free? How can a group of elusive, sadistic, religious Christian Lorna Marquardt cult members get away with setting themselves up as city officials, then twist and bend the law and even go so far as to use CBS national news to spread their corrupted lies and deceit? How can a so-called investigative reporter who has made a name for himself in the whole country be sucked into this cult's attempts to get themselves out of the quagmire they dug for themselves? How come he didn't expose their corrupted tactics that this secretive group is using to annihilate and exterminate innocent people? Doesn't he think he should be wary of the complicated issues between SIST and this secretive Lorna Marquardt religious sect? A sect whose active members have been creating a stir and raising so many eyebrows in this normally peaceful Shawano community? Doesn't Armen think that there is a problem with the way that this elusive cult leader has set herself up as a supreme authority figure inside the walls of her closely guarded compound? in which she has complete control of her religious cult members' environment? Doesn't Armen see a problem with the way that these true Lorna Marquardt cult disciples are told to remain so secretive about their brutal and malicious activities? CBS should know that in order to understand a person, what kind of person he is, what kind of actions he performs, and what the result of his actions are, they have to look at his background. His current performance and personal issues all stem from his background. When a person is born into a family, this family's culture and religion play a very large role in how this person thinks as he gets older. Take, for example, Michael Lauber. He was born into a Lutheran family. He had a Lutheran upbringing. He went to Bethany Lutheran College. He then got a job with WSAW and attends one of the local Lutheran churches in Wausau. All of his life he has studied the writings and teachings of Martin Luther, paying special attention to the teachings that are deceitful, sadistic, twisted, and bloodthirsty. He learned more on how to do this job of spreading lies and deceit just by studying Luther's works than any other classes in his Lutheran college. In his quest to be the best Lutheran minister of propaganda, lies, and deceit, he was ordained by Lorna Marquardt, who has also studied Luther's works her whole life. Lorna had an ultra-Orthodox Lutheran extremist upbringing, has felt that she was a descendant of Luther's angels, and has always felt that she had that special calling. She felt that this special calling came down from the heavens, and that it was to force anybody who is not like her to be converted or be killed. She even ran her mayor campaign with a promise to other city officials that one way or another, during her term as mayor, she would, quote, wipe SIST out. She felt that if she had enough support in the town, and that as long as it was just the city officials that knew of her special calling, she would be able to deceive the innocent Shawano citizens into believing anything she wanted them to believe. Living in the United States of America, she knew that she wouldn't be able to send her death squad, the local police and sheriff departments, whom are completely under her control, to just march into SIST-owned businesses and kill off all of the SIST personnel. She came to the conclusion that by just using the local puppy training newspaper, she would be able to deceive all of the American citizens into believing her special angel-given fairy tales and get permission from the United States government to exterminate these non-believing anti-extremist people whom she feels are different because they don't believe as she does.